Hello everybody, I hope you've been well. If you are new here, my name is Jessica Abella. I am a tax advisor, and today we are going to talk about working from home and what tax deductions you may or may not be eligible for if you do work from home. So first, let's start with if you work for an employer. So if you are an employee of a company, there is not currently a home office deduction available on your tax return. There was pre-2018. There may be again after 2026, but at the moment there's not a deduction. So if you are working from home for the convenience of your employer, the best thing that you can do is to seek reimbursement for the expenses that you have at home. Seek reimbursement from your employer for your internet and use of your home. This also applies if you are a business owner and your business is taxed as an S corporation. You are an employee of your company. So this works the same for you, that the company should be reimbursing you the use of your home office space. So if you are in that situation, you're an S Corp shareholder, note that some of the things we're going to talk about as we continue through this video apply to you, but they apply to you as a reimbursement and not as a deduction on the tax return that doesn't get dealt with until tax time. It's something you need to be reimbursing regularly. So let's talk about self-employment. So if you are using space in your home regularly and exclusively for business, then you can take this home office deduction. And that's two pieces, right? Exclusively is really important. This space has to be only used for running this business, not for using, for also doing a W-2 job, not for your spouse to come in and do crafts. This space is exclusively for this business. Couple of exceptions. If you're using some space in your home to store inventory, that space doesn't need to be exclusive as long as this is also your primary home office or primary place of work. And also, if you are running a daycare, the rules are a little different. So we're not going to get into that, but if you do run a daycare, reach out for more information. The space needs to be used regularly for business as well. So it can't be that you are renting office space that you are doing all of your stuff in, but you also have some space at home that you incidentally do a little bit of work. It really needs to be your regular place of business. And that might mean that you have a gym, for instance, and there's no room at the gym for you to do all of your bookkeeping and all of your management work. And so you have space in your home to do that work. That can be okay. So definitely depends on your circumstances, but that regularly and exclusively for business, really, really important. So what you're deducting at tax time, or again, if you're an S Corp shareholder, as you do your reimbursements, you're going to use the ratio of your business square footage to the total square footage of your home. And you're going to use that ratio against the total rent that you're paying, or your mortgage, interest, and property taxes, your insurance, whether that's renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, all of the utilities that you're paying for the home, any repairs, and if you own your home, it's going to include depreciation, which is a portion of the purchase price of your home. That'll be important later. Alternatively to your actual expenses, you can deduct the simplified method, which is $5 per square foot up to $1,500. This is usually not as much of a deduction as your actual expenses, but it is certainly simpler. You don't have to total up all of your utilities for the year. And the one thing that's important is that when you're taking those actual deductions, we talked about that it's a depreciation deduction, a portion of the purchase price of the house. That deduction has to be factored in when you sell that house later. So that will be essentially taxable profit on the sale of the property later. Still beneficial to you, and it is required to report it that way if you're doing actual expenses, but the simplified method does get you out of that. You can also switch back and forth between the simplified method and the actual method every other year if you want to. You just need to make sure to carry forward any depreciation that you had claimed in an actual year. Keep carrying that forward so you know what that total is. So a couple of frequently asked questions. What about the bathroom across the hall? Not deductible. It's not includable in your square footage unless it is truly used exclusively for your business. If you have a a counseling business and you have this separate little sort of apartment that you are seeing your patients, and that bathroom is only used for yourself and your patients during business hours, it is never used by your family or guests, then that could probably have an argument. But otherwise, generally there's going to be personal use and it's not going to be includable. What if my business wasn't profitable during that year? In that case, the home office deduction cannot create a loss. It cannot increase a loss. So in that case, the deduction still gets calculated just as if you had a profit, but that deduction gets carried forward into the following year to offset future profit. So you don't lose that deduction. It's still worth doing the math, but it's not going to increase your loss either. And what if you use the home office for both your day job and your business, or if you and your spouse both use that desk for your own businesses, the deduction is not going to apply. It needs to be exclusive. So if you have a room that you could separate, that this portion of the room is for your business and this portion of the room is for your spouse or for your day job, that's great. Go for it. Split the room. Only take the business square footage. But if you truly just have a desk and you use it for everything, it's not going to qualify for this deduction. So hopefully this was helpful. Definitely reach out if there are things that I didn't answer or other topics that you would like to see addressed in future videos. I would really love to hear that. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week.